Welcome and thank you for standing by. At this time, all participants are in a listen-only mode until the question and answer session of today's call. At that time, if you would like to ask a question, please press star one. Today's conference is being recorded. If you have any objections, please disconnect at this time. I would now like to turn the meeting over to Mr. Arnold Crozier. You may begin.
Good afternoon. Today we're offering our Payment Management Systems webinar for new 2017 grantees in the following programs. The Pregnant and Postpartum Women's Residential and State Pilot Programs, Adult Treatment Drug Courts, Veterans Treatment Courts, Tribal Wellness to Healing Courts, Family Treatment Drug Courts, Offender Reentry Programs, and State Youth Treatment Programs. I would like to welcome you all to SAMHSA's team, where you are now a partner with the Center for Substance Abuse and the Targeted Populations Branch. I would like to thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to attend this webinar on the payment management system. My name is Arnold Crozier, a government project officer with the criminal justice team. We have several grant cohorts on this call, all part of the Targeted Population Branch at SAMHSA. All were funded on September 30th, 2017. Now, hopefully, at a minimum, a representative for each grantee is represented on this webinar. At this time, I would like to name the GPOs and grant management specialists for each grant cohort on this call. Starting with the Adult Treatment Drug Court, Lloyd Roberts, Andrea King, and myself, Arnold Crozier, are the GPOs. Doug Lee and Leslie Schreier are the government management specialist, grant management specialist for these grants. The Offender Reentry Program, John Berg, Andrea King are the GPOs, and Tomero Baker and Debbie Dunn are the grant management specialists. For Tribal Wellness to Healing Courts, I will be your GPO. Doug Lee, Leslie Schreier are the grant management specialists. For Veterans Treatment Courts, Lloyd Roberts, Andrea King, and myself, Arnold Crozier, are GPOs. Doug Lee and Leslie Schreier are the grant management specialists. For Family Treatment Drug Courts, Amy Romero and John Berg are the GPOs, and Tomera Baker is the grant management specialist. For State Youth Treatment Programs, April Williams, Ramon Bonzon, and Linda White Young are GPOs. Elizabeth Carlini is the grants management specialist. For the Pregnant and Postpartum Women's Residential and State Pilot Programs, Linda White is the GPO, and Eileen Bermudez is the grants management specialist. Now, all of these new grantees should have been contacted by the GPOs and grants management specialists at this time. You should have their contact information. Now, if you have specific programmatic questions that come up during this webinar, please contact your GPO after the webinar by phone, by telephone, or email. I would now like to introduce Anthony Holland with PMS, and he will answer questions at the end of the webinar. It is now my pleasure to turn the rest of this presentation over to Anthony, who is with the Division of Payment Management. Thanks so much, Anthony, for presenting today. We really appreciate your help.
Thank you, Arnold. As Arnold stated earlier, that I am with the Division of Payment Management here at Health and Human Services. We are the tracking and payment system. Can everybody get to the agenda? We will start at the agenda item screen. Today's agenda item screen should read general information, organization and establishment, changes in system users, system access, and account inquiry, request and payment, federal financial reporting, the FFR. Next slide, please. Payment Management Service General Information. Next slide. The Division of Payment Management service several HHS agencies as well as federal non-HHS agencies. When I say federal non-HHS agencies, these are agencies outside the HHS, Health and Human Services realm. As you see, we service USDA, Department of Labor, Department of Veterans Affairs, and so on. Inside the HHS agency circle, we service Ministry for Children and Family, as well as SAMHSA. Next slide. The Division of Payment Management Operations, Monday through Friday, 5 a.m. to 11 p.m. East Coast Standard, and Saturday and Sunday, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. You can access the system through our webpage at pms.psc.gov. We also have a help desk that will assist you with resetting password and general information concerning the FFR. These are the federal holidays that we are closed as listed on this page. Next slide. Returning funds. Each payment management grantee or recipient has the opportunity to return funds, but we want to skip by this until we learn how to request funds. So we're going to start at the agency specification information, and then we're going to come back to returning funds. That should be slide 10. Agency specification information. As you see below, we have links to Administration for Children and Families and other federal agencies. Organization establishment and changes in system users. Each organization, new or old, has to be established into the Division of Payment Management. The awarding agencies will establish each organization based upon their name and the EIN and a DUNS number. Also, each organization must have on file the direct deposit sign-up form, standard form 1199A, and the Division of Payment Management access form submitted by each individual who needs to access the system for payments or reporting expenses on a FFR. All documents should be forwarded to HHS could be express mail or regular mail. Non-HHS grantees usually contact their awarding agency. For your purposes, these are the express mail address or regular mail. As I said earlier, each organization must have on file the standard form 1199A. This is where the destination, where the grant funds will be going to your organization checking or savings account. If you do not have one on file, please submit one as soon as possible. This will delay your funding. Division of Payment Management do not fund by checking, only by electronic transfer only. Each organization should submit the form as follows. Section 1, Box A needs to be the organization name, not an individual. Organization name. We adopted this form from the Social Security. As they use individual, we use organization. Section 1, Box B could be left blank or your organization. Section 1D should be checked by checking or savings account. Section 1E should be your checking or savings account number. This is the number that where the funding will be going. Section 1, Box C can be your tax identification number. Section 1 signature should be signed and dated by a representative of your organization. Section 2 can be completed for the organization sending the grant funds, which it will be the Division of Payment Management or your awarding agency address. Section 2, this is also important. This should be completed by the financial institution and signed and date. Section 3 should be the banking or the credit union or the financial institution you will be using for the destination of the funding. Section 3 routing number should be a 9-digit routing number. Section 3 depositor account title needs to correspond with the name in Section 1, Box A. If this box, depository account title, does not equal or is the same as Section 1, Box A, that will delay your funding. Section 3 should be signed and dated by your financial institution accounts representative. Now, common mistakes usually occur in Section 1, Box E. If this information is white out, scratch out, or crossed out, this will notify the form, and it will be sent back, and that will delay your process of receiving funds. Section 3, depository account title, also should read the same as Section 1, Box A. If that is blank or reads another name in that depository account title, that also will delay you from receiving funds. As you see to the left, the common errors are correction in depository account number, alteration in appearance, depository type, account title, and it doesn't match, no signatures. Make sure you have all signatures in Section 1 and Section 3. Now, the financial institution does not have to send this information back. You should have it on file. Make sure you get it to the Division of Payment Management. Next slide. We have when we do receive your direct deposit sign-up form and is correctly filled in each area, we do run a test, and this is what we receive back from the test. Next slide. PMS Access, Payment Management Access System form. This also has to be on file. You can send both of them at the same time, the direct deposit sign-up form, or you can send this one ahead of the direct deposit sign-up form. It's up to your discretion, but we prefer both of them from new grantees. We prefer both of them to come in together. For new grantees, for the Payment Management System access request. As you see, all boxes must be filled in its entirety. As you see it, actions requested, you can establish if you are a new recipient. If you are a recipient that has a user access form, you will be updating your access to include your new organization. Section 1, name of organization. Section 2, payee identification number or EIN. Section 3, name of person, title, phone number, email address, and mailing address. The individual who will be coming in to the system to request funds or report expenses pertaining to the grant. As you see in Section 4, you have 4 boxes. The first box is payment. Second box is reporting for the FCTR, Federal Cash Transaction Report. The third box is FFR, access, prepare, and FSR. The fourth box is the FFR, Financial Status Report, certify. At this point in time, SAMHSA does not utilize those 2 boxes. So your boxes would be payment request and FFR, Federal Cash Transaction Report. If you are a recipient who just want to run the inquiries, you will not check any other boxes in Section 4A, but Section 4B, read access only. Section 5 should be completed by your supervisor or a manager at your organization. Now, if you're the manager and you want access, yes, you do have to fill out the top part as well as the bottom part. When I say top part, yes, you do have to fill out Section 3 as the individual requesting access. Section 5 should be signed by you if you're the supervisor who's giving yourself the access. This form can also be faxed in, and these are the fax numbers if you're sending this form ahead of your direct deposit sign-up form. Next slide. Payment Management Access Request Instructions. As you see, these are the instructions on how to prepare that form. Common error on the Payment Management Access Form is supervisor not signing in Section 5. Next slide. Payment Management Access Form Notes. As I stated before, you can fax this form in, and you can fax multi-forms in for an individual who you would request to have access into the Division of Payment Management. If you have multi-forms, please fax each individual form separately. Section, as you see on Character 4, process may take up to 10 business days. It depends on the volume or forms that we are receiving. As you can imagine, at the beginning of the fiscal year, which started October 1, forms were being faxed in daily. Once a form is processed, you would receive an email of its completion. This email will have the user ID and temporary password for you to access the Division of Payment Management. Next slide, please. System access and account inquiries. system access. Once you receive your email with your username and temporary password, you are now established in the Division of Payment Management system. To access the system, you will go to our home page, and then to the right, you see Login PMS. Next slide. You are required to read and agree to any warnings on the system. Next slide. System will alert you if it's unavailable. Next slide. And it will also alert you if it's up and running. To log in, you will click on the Login PMS system. You will get to a security box where you are to place in the username that has been established for you, and the temporary password. Now, the temporary password the system will prompt you to change that temporary password to a 90-day password. The temporary password is for the first-time users, and the system will prompt you and let you know that you have a temporary password. If you have a temporary password, system will ask you to click on the Enter the Payment Management and change to a 90-day password. 90-day password has to be a combination of alphas and numbers. It has to be 8 characters long. You would change this information in the tablet where it says My User Info. As you see, you have the old or temporary password. It will prompt you to change to a new password, and then it will ask you to re-enter that password. It will also ask you to update your personal information. Next slide. Then, if you haven't set up your security questions, it will prompt you to set up your security questions. These security questions are used just in case you allow your 90-day password to expire and you have to set up a new 90-day password. This security question will help you avert calling the help desk or emailing the help desk for a new temporary password. Next slide, please. Once you have successfully changed your password, the system will prompt and alert you. Hit OK, and you are now into the system. If you check the box for access and payments, you will automatically receive the following inquiries. You have 4 inquiries for each grantee. If you do not check the box for payments and just FFR, you will not receive these inquiries. The 4 inquiries that you have checked in the payment management system will be accounts balance data, authorized transaction, payment data, and summary grant data. You will know you have these inquiries because on the left above payment, once you into the Division of Payment Management System, you have inquiries. You will click on inquiries, and then you will have ad hoc grantee inquiry. I'm sorry, I didn't say next slide, but next slide on to the inquiry, accessing the inquiries. You will check inquiries, click on ad hoc grantee inquiries, and select the desired inquiry type. Once you highlight the inquiry type that you are inquiring, You will highlight that, hit continue. Once you hit continue, the window will open and your inquiry type, accounts balance data. You will go to where it says payee account and place your payee account that you are established with. Once you place your payee account in the box, you hit run inquiry. Next slide. If we're reviewing your balance, we're reading from left to right. You will read sub-account, authorized amount, payments, and funds available. Sub-account is the account that is listed under your account that you will be using to draw down funds. Authorized amount is the authorized amount that SAMHSA has authorized you to use for funding. Payments are the payments that you have received or going to receive. The payment system is the payments that you have received once you have completed a drawdown. Funds available is funds that are available that you will be continually drawing down from that pot. As you see, being that you're a new organization requesting funds from SAMHSA, you will not see this available amount greater than 90 days expired. This only will probably appear at the end of your budgeted period. This is a budgeted period and notified that, hey, you're close, your budgeted period has passed the 90-day period and the funds are expired. But understand these funds are still available and can be requested by you as the grantee. Only difference is if it's in the 90-day expired phase, you will need approval from SAMHSA to continue drawing down these funds. But being a new grantee, you will not see this message here. Next slide. Authorized transaction. You can access the authorized transaction the same way you do the budget balance. Going to the left, you hit ad hoc grantee inquiry. As soon as that page opens up, you click on ad hoc grantee inquiry, highlight authorized transaction. Once you highlight authorized transaction, hit continue. Once that page opens, it will inquiry type, authorized transaction. You go right to the payee account and hit run inquiry. If we're reading from left to right for run inquiry, you see the transaction code, the budgeted fiscal year, the authorized amount. Post date is the date that was posted into the Division of Payment Management. Start date is the start of the budgeted period. Ending date, the end of the budgeted period. And issue date is when SAMHSA issued this grant into this payment management system. As you see, each transaction has a negative and a positive. The negative are funds being obligated from your grant and funds being funded. If you see a negative in the future, you will call your grants management specialist to find out why grant funds have been deobligated. The Division of Payment Management does not have the power to increase, decrease, or alter any SAMHSA grants. We are the tracking agency. Next slide, please. as you see, the negative deobligation of $21,782. Next slide. Closing. SAMHSA has the power and only the power to close grants. Division of Payment Management does not close SAMHSA grants. Next slide. As you see in our example, transaction 059 is the transaction that SAMHSA is preparing to close the grant at the end of the budgeted period. For SAMHSA to close the grant, all buckets must equal authorization, disbursements, and drawdown. Payment data. You can access this inquiry as stated in the earlier example, going to ad hoc inquiry, highlighting payment data, hitting continue. Once this window opens, going directly to pay account, placing your account in there, hit run inquiry, and this will give you a list of all the drawdowns you have possibly made in the Division of Payment Management. Being new recipients, this will be a short list. If we read from left to right, TC is transaction code. Debit date is the date that was deposited into your financial institution. Post date is the date that you entered this transaction. Amount is the amount that you're requesting. Date is the date that this transaction was put on a schedule going to Treasury. Schedule is the schedule number that is the tracking that we sent to Treasury, and confirmation number is the confirmation number you receive when requesting the payment. Under the transaction, as you see, subaccount, that was the subaccount used to execute this drawdown. As you see below, next slide. Let's go back to payment. Go back to the next slide, the previous slide. If you see a Z27, that means the payment was rejected for any number of reasons. Now, next slide. And then summary grants data, the last inquiry. You will access this as the same process, going to ad hoc inquiry, highlighting highlighting summary grants data, hitting continue. When that screen opens up, you will place into the payee account your account number, then hit run inquiry. If we're reading from left to right, as you see the agency, grant number, authorized amount, and then you see dispersed amount. The dispersed amount is the amount that you are reporting on your FCTR report, Federal Cash Transaction Report. Right of that is report disbursement. The last report that this grantee reported on this grant was 6/30/2010. And then doc status. Doc status, you see a C, which means closed. If you see a O, that means open. If you see a P, that means partial, that SAMHSA is now in the process of closing your grant. Next slide, please. These are the octave codes that we use to identify each awarding agency that we are servicing in the Division of Payment Management. As you see in the list, you see C for SAMHSA, Substance Abuse and Mental Health Administration. Requesting payment. If you check the box on your payment access form to request payments, you will have the opportunity to request payments based upon the not inquiry, but access payment inquiry. Payment requests may be made often as needed, daily, weekly, monthly, or bi-monthly. Each request should be spent by the third business day. If you're requesting from a Gcash pool account, which you guys should not be because you are all new recipients, you would always have the account number ending with G or G1. If you check the box for payment, you have to the left the payment access portion. You will click on the payment, request for payment, put in your account number, click account, and then you would have, for the first time, if you are a first-time user, to fill out information verifying the individual making the request. If we look at payment due date, it's always the next working day. Expected disbursement is the amount that you are spending. Cash on hand is 0 because this is not available funds. This is cash on hand from a previous request. Payment request amount must equal expected disbursement plus or minus cash on hand. That equation always have to equal, or the system will prompt you to go back and start over. To the left, person requesting funds. First name, last name, phone number, email. This is the person we will have to contact, the Division of Payment Management, if for any reason we have to reject this payment. Once this information is in, you will click, check the box, show it's correct, and then hit continue. Next slide, please. If you are requesting from a non-pool account, which has sub-accounts, being that you are new recipients, this is directly to you. You will click on payments, request for payment, and then put in your account number ending with a P1 or B1. Hit account. As we saw in the previous example, payment due date, expected disbursement amount, cash on hand be 0, and amount requesting. You also are prompted to put your personal required requesting funds information in on the left. Once that is correct, click to check, then hit continue. What's different from the general account than the sub-account, you now have to identify what sub-account you will be using to fund this payment request. Once you click on the sub-account you want to identify, you go down and hit sub-amount. Once you identify the sub-account, you now have to place in the box sub-account amount requested. This has to equal the request amount previously requested. If this sub-account amount requested to the right does not equal the amount requesting, the system will prompt you to start again. Next slide. Once all sub-accounts and request amount equal, you hit request for payment. Now you are close to being done. System will have you to review the amount requested, equaling the sub-account. And if the payment is in holding file, it will give you, regardless if it's in holding file or going straight through the system, the future confirmation number. Once you receive this confirmation number, hit done. You have now successfully requested funds through the Division of Payment Management. Next slide, please. Hit done, and you have successfully navigated yourself through the payment management system. Next slide, please. There are a combination of requests. You can advance a request, you can reimburse yourself on a request, or you can have a combination of advance and reimbursement. But just remember that all payment due dates are the next business day. So if you're requesting a request on Friday, the payment due date is Monday. If you're requesting a request on Wednesday, the payment due date is Thursday. If you happen to request on a Friday and it's a holiday on a Monday, the next business day will be Tuesday. But always remember, if you're requesting payroll on Friday, make sure you request your payment on Wednesday. Make sure it gets to your financial institution on Thursday. Release your payroll checks on Friday. And that's the 3 business days we are talking in reference to. Next slide. The reason for denying payments are agency restriction, expired grants, reasonableness, late FFR, FCTR reports, cash on hand, and agency approval and confirmation. Next slide, please. Reporting. Reporting on the Federal Financial Report, Federal Cash Transaction Report. Next slide, please. The Federal Financial Report, the FSR, Federal Cash Transaction Report, is due 30 days after the end of the fiscal year. Excuse me. There's 4 due every year, each one consisting of 3 months. First quarter beginning with lining up with the fiscal year of October, November, December. Second quarter is January, February, March. Last quarter is July, August, and September. Each quarter consists of 3 months, and as I stated before, due 30 days after the end of the close of the fiscal year. Of the close of the quarter. If you failed to complete this report by the 30 days, your funding will be delayed until your account is up to date. Next slide, please. If you check the box on your payment access form to complete the FFR, Cash Transaction Report, excuse me, you will have the Access tab to the left under Disbursements. Click on Disbursements. The field will open up. FFR Cash Transaction Report. You will click on the FFR Cash Transaction Report. Your search criteria now become your payee account. Place your payee account in the box. Hit Continue. Next slide, please. Once you hit Continue, the actions that you would like will be, I want to prepare and certify your reporting. Once you highlight Prepare and Certify, hit Continue, and now you are in the FFR Federal Cash Transaction Report. You will see page 1. You will know you're on page 1 when you look to the top. You will see Save, Certify, Report Disbursements, and Cancel. At this point in time, you want to report disbursement. Click on Report Disbursement. Next slide. And that will get you to page 2, where you will report your disbursements pertaining to your particular grant. As you're reading from left to right, you will have your grant number, your recreation account number. That's the number that you can place in there corresponding to a general ledger number on your general ledger at your organization. To the right of that is authorized amount, and to the right of that is cumulative disbursements, and to the right of that is federal cumulative disbursements. Now let's take a look at this. As you see on our example, we have grantees must check to report inactive grants. You only check this once your budgeted period has come to an end, and you continue in your 90-day process of reporting expenses pertaining to the grant. Next slide. Let's go back one slide. As you see, in reporting disbursements, reporting disbursements will be the expenses that was accumulated through the budget, through the quarter of the quarter that you're reporting. You will always start off with a 0, being that you're a new recipient. You will start off with a 0. And then to the right in the box, you will place in the amount that was spent during the quarter. Once you place that amount in the box, and that's your cumulative amount through the end of the quarter, hit Save, okay? Now, when we talk about expenses, we're only talking about the expenses that occur on your SAMHSA grant. You can have other expenses going on at your organization as far as membership and donations. But we only want to talk and report on expenses pertaining to the SAMHSA grant that occur during the quarter. Now, your federal cumulative disbursement will always be equal to or larger than your previous cumulative disbursed amount, but never larger than your authorized amount. Because if SAMHSA allows you to, if SAMHSA awards you $1,479,722, it's impossible to spend $1,000,005. You cannot go over your authorized amount because that is your ceiling. Eventually, your cumulative federal disbursement will equal your authorized amount. So again, just remember, your cumulative federal cash expenses will be equal to or larger than your previous cumulative disbursement, but never larger than your authorized amount. Once you place that information in the box, hit Save and Continue. That will bring you back to page 1, where you have to complete Transaction 10. Transaction 10A is the cash receipts that you received during the quarter, not the available funds that SAMHSA give you, but what you drew down and what you received during the quarter. Cash disbursements are the amount brought forward from page 2. Cash on hand is no more than line A minus line B. As you see, A is a positive number, B is a minus, and B is larger than A, so line C will be a negative number, which you must populate as the recipient. That number will not calculate for you. You must populate that box. And just remember, if you have a negative number on 10C, that's fine, because now we review and look at your organization as reimbursing itself. Now, once you have populated 10C, hit Save. It will prompt you to come down and go to 13, where you are the preparer. Place your signature there. Hit Certify. And once you hit Certify, it will prompt you to place your signature in 13A as the certifying official. Hit Certify again, and now the system will prompt you to look under 13B and check a box. Hit OK, and check a box under 13B as a certifying official. Once you check the box under 13B, go down and hit Submit. Next slide, please. Once you hit Submit, the last information you want to see on the FCTR report is Certified Transaction Complete. Now, at this point, once you hit Certified Transaction Complete and you find that you needed to add additional expenses, you must allow the system to run this report for 1 day, and then you can come back in and amend your information. Also, as a reminder, once you complete the report, it does not prompt, the report does not prompt a payment. A payment must be done through the payment slide or the payment tab, reporting through the disbursement tab. So if you complete a report and you do not make a payment, the report does not prompt the system to make a payment for you. Next slide, please. Some awarding agencies are using the Federal Standard Status Report, but at this time, SAMHSA is not utilizing the system, so this does not pertain to you. These are the awarding agencies that are using the FSR reporting. Next slide, please. At this time, I will entertain any questions. Thank you.
Thank you. We will now begin the question and answer session. If you would like to ask a question, please press *1 and record your first and last name clearly when prompted. Your name is required to introduce your question. To withdraw your question, you may press *2. Once again, if you would like to ask a question, please press *1. One moment, please, for our first question. We do have a question on the line. One moment, please.
Okay.
Donna Kim, your line is now open.
Oh, thanks. I was unable to view any of the PowerPoint slide. I was wondering if we could request it to be emailed.
Sure. Let me have your email address.
Donna.Kim, D-O-N-N-A.
Hold on. Donna, D-O-N-N-A.
Dot K-E-M-M, which is like King Elizabeth Mary Mary.
Okay.
At Benton County.
Spell that.
BentonCountyAR.gov. So it's BentonCountyAR.gov.
Okay. All right. I will send this to you, but if you, in the future, that you have any questions, you can go directly to our webpage, and the training presentation is on our webpage also.
Oh, bless you.
All right.
Thank you.
But I will send this to you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Any other questions?
Yes, sir. Our next question comes from Megan Riley. Your line is now open.
Hey, I'm having trouble viewing the PowerPoint on the
Megan?
software.
Megan, did you receive the PowerPoint?
No.
I will email it to you. Let me have your email address.
Okay, MEGAN dot REILLY. REILLY. Yes, sir. At circlepark.com.
Spell that.
CIRCLEPARK.com.
Okay. PARK.com.
Right.
Okay. Thank you. In the future, if you want to review our training slides, it is on our webpage.
Okay. I think there's a problem with the WebEx Event Center. It's not
okay.
For us.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Our next question comes from Gabrielle Codwell Miller. Your line is now open.
Hello, this is Gabriella. I also, the WebEx says that the host has not arrived, so I couldn't see the slides either. Can you tell me what website you're referencing when you say that the presentation is on the website?
You can go to our Division of Payment Management webpage, and...
Is that through the SAMHSA site?
No, that's directly if you're making a payment request. But I will send it to you. Let me have your email address.
GABRIE LLA dot Caldwell CALD WELL hyphen Miller MILLER
Continue.
at D as in dog, B as in boy, H as in hat, D as in dog, S as in son, dot Virginia.
Spell that.
Virginia, VIRGINIA dot gov.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yes, sir. We have one more question. One moment, please. Don Dale, your line is now open.
Yes, I also could not see the webinar
Okay, let me have your email address.
It is Dawn, D-A-W-N, dot Dale.
Hold on, D-A-W-N.
Dot Dale, D-A-L-E.
D-A-L-E.
At C-O.
C-O.
Dot Benton.
Dot, spell that.
B-E-N. T-O-N.
T-O-N.
Dot O-R. Dot U-S.
Let me get that last part, B-E-N-T-O-N. Dot O-R. Dot U-S.
Correct.
Okay.
We have another question. One moment, please. Diane, your line is now open.
I don't think anybody could see the webinar because it says the host has not arrived. So I think you're going to have to send it out to everybody.
Okay.
Now, I got a copy of it last week, so I don't know if some of the people's project managers got a copy of it. So we were able to go along because I printed some copies for the people sitting here. But our computer person told me that the host had to click something in order for everybody to view it. So it's not a question, it's a statement.
Okay.
Our next question comes from Mia Smith. Your line is now open.
Hello?
Yes.
Okay, so I have the same issue, but I did not receive the email with the PowerPoint. So I would either need to receive that email or I can get the web address to view it online.
Okay, let me have your email address.
It's Mia, M-I-A.
M-I-A.
Dot Smith.
Continue.
At CJCC.
Spell that.
C as in cow, J as in joy, C, C.
Continue.
The letter E. Yeah, at dot GA.
GA?
Yes.
And you broke up at the end. So
.ga.gov.
Wait a minute. CJCC.GA?
Yes, .gov.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
All right.
Our next question comes from Tony Rosavi. Your line is now open.
Hello. I had the same issue also, and I want to give you my email address.
Okay, go ahead.
It's Tony, T-O-N-Y, and then dot, and then R-I-S as in Sam.
R-I-S.
And then A, F as in Frank, and I.
Okay.
And that's at Westcare, WESTCARE.com.
Okay.
I appreciate it.
All right.
Our next question comes from Donna Ken. Your line is now open.
Hi, Arnold. I logged on to your Department of Health and Human Services Payment Management System, and I'm trying to find that training online that you shared with us. Would I go under Home, Resources and Training, and then I was trying to even drill down to what you were talking about?
Hold on.
Okay, thank you.
Resource and Training. Grant recipient training.
Okay.
Hold on. FR material. Okay, you can get the FFR training material there. And I got to make sure you can get the payment management system. Yeah. Okay. Let me have your email, and I can send that to you also.
Okay. I gave it to you. It's DONNA.
Okay, Donna.Kim.
Perfect.
All right.
Thank you, Arnold.
All right.
Our next question comes from Karen Lloyd. Your line is now open.
Yes, we also need the slides emailed to us.
Okay. Let me have your email address.
It's S as in Sam, LLOYD.
OYD.
O, Y as in Yeti, D as in dog.
Okay.
At CO.
At CO.
Washington.
Washington?
Yes. AR.
AR.
US.
Okay. So that's S. Lloyd.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Oh, Anthony?
Yes.
And everyone on this webinar, apparently there was a serious problem with the presentation that was sent out by our contractors. And what we need to do is just send everyone a presentation. I apologize for this thing, but this is one of those glitches that just happens. So we're going to send out a presentation to every grantee on this particular program that's the only way that we can solve this.
Okay.
All right?
All right. Well, thank you.
Yeah, I'm just one of those things. I'm just sorry about it, but we did send out the presentation. Well, apparently it did not work for us as we hoped it would, and sometimes those things happen.
Okay.
So, Anthony, would you do that for us, please? And
yes.
All the folks. Okay. Any other questions, please?
Yes, sir. One moment, please. Sabrina Bullitt, your line is now open.
Hi, I had a quick question about access to the system to request payments.
Right.
I already have access for other grants that I manage through the payment management system. Do we need to request specific access to get to our SAMHSA grant?
No. If your SAMHSA grant falls under your organization that you already have access to, your SAMHSA grant will appear in your that sub account will appear in the part where it says requesting for payment.
Okay. It did appear for some users with our organization, but it did not appear under my login.
Okay. What I would do is, now, do you have access to that one particular account?
I'm not sure.
Okay. What I would do is send in a new form updating for that one particular account, and you can fax that right in and make sure you have your username that you're using. You will not receive a new password because you already have been established, but you make sure you check the box for payment and FCTR so that you can gain access to that one account you want to see that SAMHSA grant under.
Okay, and is there a place on the form to put that account number?
Yes, where you see the EIN number, place that account number right there.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Our next question comes from Megan Riley. Your line is now open.
Hey, my question was answered. Thank you.
At this time, we're showing no further questions.
Okay. Well, I want to thank Arnold for allowing the Division of Payment Management to be a part of the conference webinar. And if you have any questions, feel free to contact if you have any future questions, you got back to your organization and you didn't have a chance to have a time to request a question, contact your liaison accountant here at the Division of Payment Management. All right. Well, thank you, Arnold. Hopefully we answered everyone's question.
And thank you, Anthony, for being a part of this presentation. And I'm sorry about the
it's all right.
But it happens like that sometimes.
I know.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you all for attending this webinar, and we hope to get the presentation to you as quickly as possible.
Thank you. All right. Hope to see you soon, Arnold.
You too.
Bye-bye.
This now concludes today's conference. All lines may disconnect at this time.